what's going to be? How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, sponsored by Dark Fusion Systems, the best in your custom computing needs. Whether it's gaming, music, creative, whatever you need, they got the system for you that they can custom build to your liking. You know, holiday sponsor Ryan Kirby from Fit for a King. So you know, if you're a music fan and a gamer, any kind of creative, you are good in the hands of them. Go to darkfusionsystems.com, link to the podcast below. Get $100 off your entire build. You code CPPOD anytime during the build or at checkout. Thank you guys. Now time for feature presentation. A recurring guest is back in the podcast today. We have Rozy coming back on. We talk about what's happened over the past year, what looks like to be the breakout year for them in 2024, how you can support them, and a brand new EP coming out on Valentine's Day. Are you ready for this one? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast, it is the beginning of 2024, and you know that usually in the beginning of 2024, we bring one of our favorite recurring bands back to the podcast, and yeah, it happened again. Coming all the way from Houston, Texas, once again, with their brand new EP, Cry Baby, coming out on February 14th, Valentine's Day. So if you're looking for something cool to do with, your significant other on Valentine's Day, why don't you say, hey, when we go for a nice drive, we'll put on the Crybaby EP by Rozy and just enjoy and have one hell of a night. That's the best way to do it. I might have to do that myself because that actually sounds like a good idea. But before we even go there, let's talk to the band. So please welcome Zoe, Molly, Brandon, Aris from Rozy back to the Chord Progression Podcast. So all of you four, welcome back.
What's up?
Good to be here.
Excited, yeah.
It is great to see all four of you. Well, and Aris for the first time, I should say, because this is his first time showing up here. So I do want to ask this right off the bat because I had you on the podcast back in January of 2023. It's January 2024. Give me a rundown. Give me a recap. What all happened in the past year for you?
Woo, man.
Well, he joined.
Yes. He,
Right
February.
Right after we had this podcast, did a review. We got to work on a lot of new music. We had the opportunity to play at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion for 94.5 The Buzz's Buzz Fest, which is a big alternative rock station here. We had our music featured on 94.5 The Buzz last month, and we're able to play Get It Spun all month long. And I'm trying to think what else.
Those are the big milestones.
Yeah. The last quarter of the year was pretty crazy because
a lot.
He recently moved in to the same house as Brandon, so they're roommates, and we live 15 minutes away, so we're able to practice a lot more every day now instead of twice a week. And
that's pretty constant.
Yeah, it's been every day with each other.
We're here all the time in this room.
And we do a lot of 4-hour gigs now.
Yeah.
It's a very common thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Every weekend is some sort of 4-hour gig.
Yeah.
So getting lots of practice in that aspect.
Oh, yeah.
It's been really good.
There's a good amount that's there that we could go into. There was one thing that I've noticed from the band specifically was, especially on social media, a lot more posting on there over the past last 6 months compared to what you've done previously. So it has been noticed. It is something that I've seen drive a lot more traction, a lot more, attention to the band. Of course, there was the one short that you did where Zoe attacked Molly just to get a hug, and it was 50, 60 million views at one point.
Yeah, that one was crazy. It was funny too because we sat on that
for a month,
for a long time. We pre-make content and then flesh it out as it comes or as the month goes.
Mm-hmm.
And that one we did have for a month, and we were let's just post it, and immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It was immediately, right?
Yeah,
it was within the first 2 or 3 hours. It had reached probably 10K, and Zoe texted the group Molly's kind of popping off on social media. And I was just looking at it, and I was okay, we'll probably get 100K, and then 500K, and then 1 million, and then it got to 2 million faster than it got to 1 million. So it was just funny.
It was crazy.
He's sitting comfortably at about 57 million views right now.
Well, it's getting close to 60. It'll get there at some point because it was something that it definitely did stand out. And I understand making content in batches whenever you have the time and not just okay, we're going to make some posts because Of course, as a band, there's a lot of other things that you're doing in order to make sure the band continues to grow. You have to make sure you're practicing. You have to make sure that you're playing live shows. Of course, you got to make sure that if you have other responsibilities and aspirations that are also going in there to make sure you can also fund the band at the same time, you got to take care of those as well. And when it comes to making content, you're not going to have like these set specific times every single day to do that. But you want to make sure you're continually putting stuff out there because we all know how social media works. We all know how algorithms work. And we all know how short attention spans we all have now because of this stuff. So if you batch this stuff out and you have the time to do it, we're going to do like 10, 15 videos in one day. Now you can start to slowly release this stuff over the course of a month and you have it all set. And you don't have to worry about, oh, I got to shoot something today, or we got to record something today, just put it out there. But it also leaves you vulnerable. It also leaves you available, I should say, to, if you get an idea, you want to try something, you can still do it right then and there. You don't have to potentially wait for something, and you still have other videos in the bank to work with if you get to that point.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. When we started doing that, it helped a lot because we were like super overwhelmed because it's how it is. You feel like you have to record every single day, like something funny that happens or whatever, but the pressure's way less when you just pick a day out of the week and record all of them, and then you're good for the next week at least.
Like 5 to 10.
Yeah. Like,
we have so much, I think we're just like, oh yeah, we still have that to post.
Yeah, we forget too, like, because it'll be like way back in the camera roll. We're like,
yeah, because it'll be like, we'll have a funny, like a TikTok or something, and we'll have a music post, and then like a picture, and then something else we're trying to talk about. So in reality, we're only posting one piece of content in that kind of shoot from that day a week. So, if we can get 4 or 5, that'll last us a month, maybe even a tiny bit longer. So it kind of works.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely works. And even other bands I've talked to, other content creators that I know and talk to, they do that very similar style where if they have a day where they can create a bunch of stuff, they're going to do it because it opens up opportunities for them to do many other things throughout the rest of like the month, maybe the week. But it also still leaves them continually posting things so that they're still staying relevant in the algorithm, still staying relevant in the zeitgeist, in the mindset of fans. Because with all the attention that's out there, all the people only have a certain amount of bandwidth that they can really like hold on to. And especially with social media, if you're not feeding them constantly, you're not constantly, and have, them constantly coming back, you're going to end up being forgotten about. I think a lot of bands end up, missing out on that, especially they get that like one viral moment where something pops off. Okay, how do you continue to build on that? And of course, if you have stuff that's already banked, like content that you're waiting on, that you're waiting to release, it's a lot easier to continue that flow while maybe you're thinking of other ideas that are congruent with maybe what popped off, but you're still giving people that consistent, continuous flow, and they're being able to get further within the band because they're constantly seeing you pop up.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's a whole.
Or you just have a Molly and she just like pops out viral, semi-viral to actually viral content. So that's very helpful too.
If you go and look at all of our content with just Molly, that is doing way better than any of the stuff with all 4 of us or by ourselves.
She's the key.
She's the key.
It's okay.
That's why we need you to pop off on those Instagram covers.
I know. We need them covers.
It's never done. You're never done with this sort of thing.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll say, trust me, I know the exact same feel. I'm never done with this stuff. Every time there's an episode that comes up, it's like, okay, got to post this. Got to make it this, and this for it because I got to be ready for all these eventualities. And then just constantly making sure I have something out there every single day so that, we don't get lost in the mindset of fans or don't get lost in, we pop up on someone's like feed or something. Okay, cool. What if they like it, but then they don't, hit the profile button or go and hit the follow button? But you keep putting stuff out there and they keep seeing it, they're going to end up eventually coming to see what you have to offer.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly.
So just have Molly do, just do whatever she needs to do in order to go viral. Just keep having like this video centered around Molly, whether it's, Zoe going and attacking her, needing a hug, or Molly wearing a bunch of like clown face paint because I can't remember exactly which the one it was, but that one got me to laugh.
Yeah.
I think we need to do a video where we all dress up like
Yeah.
and we all impersonate one.
Big. Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
Throw away some drumsticks.
That's funny.
Oh, we should do Who Does Molly the Best.
That'll be funny.
Yeah, that would be fun. We're gonna rogue wig.
Yeah.
Oh,
gosh, yeah.
10 out of 10.
That would work out really well. Why not? Just have videos like of whatever Molly would do, but like one video, okay, now it's just Zoe dressed as Molly. One video it's Aris dressed as Molly. One video it's Brandon dressed as Molly. One video it's Molly dressed as Zoe pretending to be Molly. Like there's just like so many possibilities of what you could do here.
That's a good one.
That's funny. That's a good idea.
Just give it a shot. Why not? It's worked out so far. Why not keep riding the hot hand?
Exactly.
We need to do this.
Very true.
Now, I'm going to go to the brand new person that's here with us today with Aris, because I'm not going to let you just like sit in the back and slide off, even though you have been, been very vocal already for the first like 10 minutes of this, which I am happy about. But now I'm going to go directly to you, sir. How did you join the band, and what's it been like being a part of the band since literally like a year ago, right after we recorded with the band, all of a sudden then you joined. So what's it been like? Give me the whole story. Go.
Well, first off, it's been super fun. It's been amazing. It's been a lot of fun. I'm from Southern California. I lived in San Diego for the past few years. I moved out to Houston in, I guess, October?
No, you were in September.
Yeah, more like September of 2022, right? Yeah, I in California. I'm a guitar player primarily, so there's like this weird kind of country scene in SoCal, and I was playing a lot of country. And the girls are friends with a country artist out here, and I played with her. I was her California guitar player, and she hooked me up with a country artist out here that was looking for a touring guitar player. And so, just in hanging out with her, I met these two, and I saw Rozy. I think I saw you guys first at Rise.
Yeah, when was it our headliner or Striper?
It was your headliner or Striper. It was somebody. I think it was the headliner show. And I was like, oh, this is super cool. Like, it's fun. And then I had heard whispers that they were trying to have me come out and play with them, just because the look, it's very, it suits the vibe.
Oh yeah, you sent me a DM. And you're like, what do you think of this dude?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he sounds good.
But what was actually crazy
he looks
was
like what we need.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what was crazy was, so I knew these two, but then through that same person, I ended up playing at a church, and that's where Brandon plays. So like I knew everyone kind of separately, and just kind of got plugged into the group. And then I think the first show that I played with you was
Scout Bar.
It
was with we were opening up for Post Profit.
For Post Profit, yeah. And I had committed to the artist I was with for like a year as to be his main guitar player. So I couldn't really fully commit to these guys, but I really enjoyed it. It was fun. We did that. We did some fun stuff.
BuzzFest was right after.
BuzzFest was right after that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of at that time, they had kind of like made like kind of little funny jokes, like, when are you going to join the band full time? Like, we'd love you to. Yeah. And, all that stuff. And then things had started dying down with the guy I was playing with. And I was doing some kind of just freelance stuff, kind of gigging around. And I was like, yeah, like, let's do it. And then post BuzzFest, we just played a few more things, and then I don't even remember when I really was like, I'm doing this full time.
You kind of joined right after.
Was it right after?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it was.
Was there even a conversation? Or
I don't think so. I just weaseled his way into our thing.
I think I know I had a moment, because I had a moment where I like shifted my priority from what I was doing to doing this. And I know for me, it was like, okay, this is really fun. It's like a group of people that I really enjoy hanging out with. The music is super fun. And kind of being in Southern California, like playing a lot of covers. And I grew up listening to country music, but like, when I was younger, I wanted to be in Metallica and stuff like that. So this was much more what I was,
the realm.
Yeah, of like what I would want to see. And I've told these guys this, but like, I wanted to be a part, and I want to be a part of something. And I think this is actually something that has that potential of just something that's really, really good. Just like as a unit, like I feel like when we kind of get together, and this has been my experience so far, all of us kind of have all these different influences, but still have enough of a through line that when we sit down and actually like work and get something together, we come up with something that's way cooler than just if I had written the song, or if they had written the song. Like what we've managed to do, like the new stuff, not the Crybaby EP stuff, but the stuff that we're going to be kind of releasing after, that we've all been writing. We wrote a few songs today and worked on some stuff. Like that is super cool to me. And it's really fun to see how, if we sit down to write, And I'm like, oh, this sounds like this song. Zoe's like, no, it doesn't. It sounds like this song. And
then I'm like, y'all are both wrong. It sounds like this.
Yeah, it sounds like Lady Gaga. And then on the flip end of that, it's like we come out of it and it's like, okay, that's actually like, that's super cool. Like I'm getting one thing, so I'm kind of bringing something in and they're all bringing other things in, and we're coming out with this product that is like vastly different and better in my opinion than what, just I would make by myself. So it's been super rewarding. Like they said, like I moved in to the house with Brandon, July. Yeah. And then I was like, when I first, I feel like joined the band, I was just kind of letting them do their thing. And then I don't ever want to impose and kind of take over, because I wouldn't want someone to do that for my thing. But I had kind of asked them, like, do you guys want like my opinion? Like, do you want my help kind of organizing stuff? And then just seeing like what they had, like, I feel like it's super marketable. It's super fun. They're obviously great players and there was like a lot of energy, but I just felt like kind of being on the inside, there was just a few things like maybe if we focus more on social media, and that was kind of my big thing at first. So like, let's just really try to post every day or have some sort of posting schedule. And then it's kind of evolved into like us having 2 giant whiteboards.
Yeah.
And
with
like
things to do.
8 group texts, like shared notes with all sorts of stuff. It's just evolved into that, because for me, they're already killing it. They've had a bunch of success before me. So if I can just kind of have a little bit of an outsider's point of view and say like, okay, let's just do these things, or this is working, or like you guys just haven't been able to do this yet. Maybe we just focus on that. I feel like it's easier for me versus these guys have kind of been in it. Maybe sometimes, you're so used to having your head down. It's, just a little different perspective, and then a little bit of
nice aid.
Yeah, like some fresh air and stuff.
Guidance.
So,
but
it's fun. I mean, it's fun. I enjoy just doing it. It's fun having everyone kind of be here all the time and hang out and,
Yeah, we like hang out outside and just banding it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just good vibes, I feel like, in general. And then on top of it, the music is starting to like really slap. I feel like the band has gotten super tight. I've stopped messing up as much as I used to. When I first joined, but no, now we're really.
Rig.
I know, yeah.
I know.
In your rig.
We upgraded
We have a show.
everything.
We have a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like really trying to get some like cool stuff together and really make it marketable, and hopefully get on tour sometime this coming year. And just, I don't know. I feel like if I were, what do I know? But if I were a band and I was looking for like a really kick-ass opener, like I definitely think we definitely fit the bill. Like we'll get everyone kind of riled up, get them into it, get them excited, and then that's kind of, at least in my mind, what I want us to kind of be able to do. Like really get out there, kind of kick them in the teeth, and then let everyone else kind of finish them off, I guess, after. So.
I mean, it makes sense where it's, of course, as a band, you still want to have that point in time where you're going to go out on the road, and of course, you're going to be the headliner, traveling all these other places, because you want to be make sure that you're the main attraction. But that mindset that you have, kind of, okay, you got a whole show, you got a whole like rig going on now. You've got all of that figured out. Plus now with Aris joining, I can see you're coming from not necessarily imposing, what your will on the band, want to make sure that you're going to the whole foray of it. But essentially when he joined, not only did you get like a bassist, but you got somewhat of a band manager of like, okay, let's go do this, outside of, actually making music and playing it. What can we do to continue to promote the band, continue to grow it? So now there's more eyes and ears on it. And that's a perfect thing to come in there. If that's the thing that might have been lacking from beforehand, boom, that's a different perspective. Let's roll with it. Let's flow with it, see what happens. And it's always great to have something like that. And thinking about what you just said, trying to be an opener on a tour, that's the mindset you want to have, is what can you do for a show where you're going to get the crowd into the show, energized, and have them get set ready for the rest of the night. Because we've all been to shows where we've seen some openers where they just go absolute gangbusters crazy, and we're so amped up for the rest of the show where you're just into it. You think it's one of the greatest nights already, and you're only through one band of 4. But we've also been to those shows where the openers come in and everyone's just standing around like, oh, is this going to be one of those shows where, nothing's going to go right, or you're kind of out of it. But if you have that mindset already of, we have this show built out, we have a rig, we have everything set up for this, the music is kick-ass, we're playing tighter together, why not try and go out with some other bands on a national tour and open up for them to get that energy going, get everything going. But then at the same time, people get to know you and recognize you because you're the ones that started out the show on such a high note.
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I've always been hoping for because, again, this is the 4th time I've had you on. And every year I'm waiting. I'm like, when is Rozy finally going to break out of that Texas air? When are they finally going to get to the point where if I want to go see them, I don't have to travel to Houston to go see them? I've been waiting for this moment since the first time we talked. I remember talking about the first time we talked to him, like, it's got to happen soon at some point, man.
Exactly.
If it makes you feel better, I think we're on the cusp of getting to that point.
We're like right there.
We're trying to get the booking agencies
Together.
to get us on some sort of national touring.
And we have a good opportunity to have, that we have coming up.
Would you like to explain the opportunity?
Explain the opportunity. So
Do it.
Indubitably.
Exactly. So I don't know if you noticed, but we've been doing a lot of raffles on our Instagram and stuff like that. So we back in was it October? Halloween. It was around Halloween.
Was it?
Yeah, because that was when Chris showed up to confirm it. So we were offered the opportunity to play at this big convention in Burbank, California in March, and it's called MUSEXPO. And like it's where the biggest record execs, the agencies, talent buyers, and whatnot, they're all going to be there. And we were offered a slot to perform at the showcase that's going to be going on there. And
we get 25 minutes to give them our best stuff.
Yeah.
25 minutes.
So that we just been talking with our manager. He's like, you guys definitely like y'all are gonna go home with something. We're with how good of a show y'all do, with how marketable y'all are. He's like, you guys, y'all got it. It's just getting there and doing it, So
we're preparing for that right now.
We are in the midst of kind of figuring that whole 25 minutes.
What's our best?
The most banging 25 minutes you ever seen.
So we're excited about it.
We definitely have some cool stuff. We were kind of think all on one train of thought with the set, and then we had some outside people kind of say like, I don't know, guys, maybe you should think about doing this, and so we're kind of switching it up a little bit last minute. But I'm just getting ready to kind of finalize that set list, and we're like running tracks just for the sake of we have
full.
Just super full, and then also too, since we only have 25 minutes, I want to make sure we don't waste any time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of be on rails for that little 25 minutes. So I'm in the middle of kind of mapping that out and seeing time wise. So I think we're gonna start doing that pretty soon, rehearsing for that. But it'll be sweet.
It's a really good opportunity. I really think we're gonna get the most out of it. Like,
really?
I definitely think so. I think we're cool enough and we're relatable enough and we're
as long as you're with us, dude.
I know. It's me.
Yeah, and while we're there too, I'm trying to put together a show that way, we can play, have another opportunity to play outside of Texas, like you said. So if anything, who knows what'll be going on during that time, but we will make it our opportunity, or we will make it our priority to make it our way to you, my guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm honored. No, I feel great about that. But I have seen you've been posting about the MUSEXPO about in March. I have seen that happen. I have seen the raffles for the AirPods, for the mini speaker, and and Brandon, I think it was like for the mini speaker, said he was eating like cotton candy or someone. He's like, oh, what are you doing or eating? I can't remember what he was eating. It was something, but it was something good. But I remember seeing all the posts about it, and it does make sense where if there's going to be a lot of music industry people there, record labels, talent buyers, booking agencies, it makes this a lot of sense for you to go out there and give it a shot, give it a try, because you're going to be in front of so many people. You're going to have this opportunity to impress, to stick out in the minds. And if you have 25 minutes, that's like your standard opening set right there. So that's pretty much like what you're going for, what you're looking for. You get a chance to just do a full-on audition with that opening set, play as many songs as you want, but also have time to try and get a little bit of crowd interaction going, a little bit of that back and forth, so that not only can, these talent buyers see that, hey, Rozy's a great band on stage, they put in a great live show, but even during their show, they're not taking too much time away from their music to keep the energy going, but they're still able to connect with the fans. They're still able to connect with people that might not know who they are and bring it to the forefront. Plus, your sound still brings the energy. Your sound has a consistent flow to it that has more of this upbeat sound. Plus, like you said, marketability. as a band, you four are very incredibly marketable from what I have seen, from what I know, the things that you're all able to do. And now with Aris in the band doing what he does with social media and everything, yeah, marketability is 100% there. But Zoe, there was one thing you said that just stood out to me, and I'm going to make sure that it's paramount that you do it. I'm going to drill in your head. You said you're going to try and plan another show out there while you're out there. Do it. Absolutely do it, because if you absolutely impress those people at that expo and then you have a show like the next night, they're still going to be out there. They might say, hey, we saw what Rozy did in front of us. Now let's actually see what they're going to do in front of a live crowd that might not have any idea who they are in a completely different area. It gives you a second chance and even a better opportunity, and even like another step up in front of the competition, because now people are seeing you play in that exact same spot that you are going to be playing. People are going to have a chance to see what it actually is like when you get all the fans involved. You're basically putting yourself out there in the most like simulated best case scenario setting. So you got to do it. Like, I know might not be the easiest thing to do, but you got to put it in. You got to make it happen. Like, this is a huge thing. And now I'm amped up about it.
Thanks,
and if she doesn't get it, I'm sure my friends and family will not be very happy, because this is the one chance they can actually see.
Exactly. Why do you think? I didn't even think about that. I know. What I'm saying. I'm like, but we're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen. We finally have like an idea of when it's gonna be going down, so I'm just like trying to put the little, pieces in place.
Feelers.
Yeah, put the feelers out there. And if you had to put the feelers out there, one thing I actually, with a band I recently had on, apparently they were trying to book their own shows in like a place they'd never been before. They used ChatGPT to write emails for them just to see what would happen. And they got more bookings than they ever thought they would.
We're gonna use that. We're gonna use that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Genius. That's genius.
That's so smart.
We like to work at your establishment.
It's like all fancy and stuff.
Dang.
That's essentially what they told me too. They're like, it sounded like a robot wrote it because it was so much more fancy than any other band, but it was like, it was the thing that stood out more than anything else. Apparently that like whoever was booking for those venues absolutely loved the fact that, like you said, we would love to play at your establishment of playing music.
Right? Exactly.
Oh
It's very professional.
That's awesome.
It would be paramount to have this happen. It would be a critical error on your part to not have this happen.
Exactly.
Sincerely signed, the Rozy.
Right?
Official.
Yeah, right?
Official.com.
.com //
That was a pretty good radio voice right there, man.
Maybe I have to quit my full-time job and actually try and get like another full-time job in radio or something, just so I can do the radio voice, and maybe go off and I'm like, this Sunday, Monster Truck Mayhem, come out, bring the kids, they get in free.
Oh, that's good.
I love it.
Maybe I missed my calling, because I remember I had someone ask me, did you do college radio when you were in college? I was like, no, I had no interest in doing it. But now with everything I do with the podcast, I'm like, maybe I should have started out a lot earlier than I did.
It happens.
It happens. We all find our way eventually. But now we talked about social media, we talked about Aris joining the band, this new expo, brand, like a bigger, grander show, trying to get Rozy on a national touring circuit so that I can finally see them live and make good on all of the promises of first rounds on me, because I'm at 3 at this point right now. At this point, I'm just gonna have to show up with like multiple cases of beer and be like, I hope this covers everything. But there's a brand new EP coming out on Valentine's Day called Crybaby that I have to go into. You sent me the whole EP. I listened to the whole EP. I have my notes down here for it. But let's jump into it. Creation of this EP. What was it all like? What was the mindset around it? Because I'm always curious about see where the whole entire flow and inspiration for all the songs in the EP came to be.
Man,
shoot.
Did we start writing it in 2019 or 2020?
2019.
Charlie. Really?
Yeah.
We started recording it in 2020.
Right.
Recorded it in 2021.
Oh, it's 21.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like over the time that we had, because because it was COVID, it would have been stuff would have happened sooner, but COVID kind of just threw a wrench in everybody's plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think we're still just developing a sound.
Yeah.
Right? because I had moved to guitar because I was the bass player for a while.
That's
Right.
I think we were just trying to like mesh in a new way.
Figure it out.
Yeah. The songs, some of them surprisingly took like so long.
Yeah.
And then went through like multiple renditions.
Like Pretty Lonely went through a long phase.
Yeah, like at least 3.
Saccharine went through a phase.
Went through a couple, and then we got to the studio and we completely changed it.
Yeah.
So it was like day of. We changed that one
Saccharine
too.
wasn't that different. We just cut a lot of fat.
We did.
Yeah.
We didn't actually make.
He changed my whole drum part. Like, yeah, I had something complicated, and he was like, "No," and I was like, "Okay." And so it was like that. It was, but
sometimes a producer, when they do that, that's a good thing. And
Yeah.
some like for the pretty. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Pretty Lonely. Solo. I had this one line and I do it live all the time, and I played that, and they had this idea to like talk.
Because we didn't really know what to do for the bridge in Pretty Lonely, and so I don't know if it was my idea or if it was Mike's idea, because we had Mike Pottercroft produce the EP, and he was like, go into the studio and like just talk, and so I was like, well, if we're gonna talk, so it was we were all talking in the mic, and it was kind of just about like random stuff, and I was like still trying to keep it like on the plane of what the song was about, and while that was going on, we were like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. We didn't even know if it was gonna be used, like. It was just for background noise. It really was meant for background noise.
Yeah, but I think he really liked it. So when I started playing like a line, it was a guitar solo, by the way. I'm playing a line. He's like, "Oh, don't do that." And I'm like, "What?" And then he hits record again, and I do the same line. I love this line, by the way. I feel like I really like it. And he's like, "No, don't do that. Do something else." And I'm like, okay.
We're on a time limit too, so like.
You had to change it because he was like getting in the way.
Oh yeah, he said it's getting in the way of the talking, even though this is a guitar solo.
It was interesting.
Yeah,
but he was a really good.
But other than like little things, like he was phenomenal.
He was so good.
He was super great.
We went to California for the week and went and recorded at West Valley Recording Studios. And that was fun. Molly recorded all her drums in one day. We had 5 days there. And then we had 5 days there? Yeah, I think we had 5 days there. And then after that, every song had a day. Yeah. To where like we then did the guitars, the vocals, and just kind of finalized it to the best of our abilities. But Molly knocked that out real fast.
In one day.
In 1 day.
So I was chilling.
And then every day we were recording, she was like, on her phone.
I was like, to do.
On average, like how many takes would you do?
A couple.
Yeah, you were killing it, Mo.
If that,
you were killing it.
So locked in.
Yeah, like if you just know and I don't think he like knows what to do with drums. I mean, he knows. Yeah. But I don't know if like he kind of just let me be. And then there was that other guy there.
It was Dave Grohl's guitar tech.
That guy. He
which was cool.
He thought it was good too, and so everybody agreed that it was fine.
Do you mean you don't like he wasn't like, oh, do this kind of fill?
Yeah.
Maybe like he wasn't like a drums first kind of producer.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there are people that are like that.
Right.
That's what the last one was.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
And honestly, if he would have been that way, I would have been frazzled because I don't know how to just. On the fly, like I don't know what to do.
But you were tight,
dude.
Probably the reason why it was just like so plug and play, like you just were on your stuff.
I just knew my parts, so that helps.
Yeah. And each of the songs had a day, and every day we had. It was funny because Mike would be like, "Let's go." He's like, "So what's like this song about?" He's like this day we're gonna have for example, like for Crybaby, what are you thinking about this song? He's like, it's giving like red, or it's giving like blue. He's like, it's your world. You make it. I'm just here to capture it. I'm like, I love you, Mike. That sounds awesome. Let's go.
We're all just grains of sand.
Grains of sand. He did say something like that. That one of those last days, he was like, what did he say? It was along the lines of like whatever we made that day, it was supposed to be made. Jupiter and Saturn aligned.
Some matter of fact,
I was like, oh my goodness, okay. But I mean, I get it.
Be like the floor was yellow, so therefore that is how it.
It's like a spiritual thing, you know.
He was super sweet and
loved him.
And he knew all his stuff, so it was good experience.
I was just thinking, it's like. Today was the day you were supposed to make this. The planets aligned.
Right.
Mercury was in retrograde. Your horoscope said today would be a good day. This was what was meant to happen.
Right.
Yeah, but that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
He was a really good producer. He kept it real hot in that studio.
He did. It was
Toasty.
It was toasty in there.
A funny moment was like we tried to like hint that it was hot and we wanted him to turn it down. But we didn't want to touch it.
Yeah, it's on our stuff.
So we were like, hey, it's pretty hot in here. And he goes,
wait,
he's like editing stuff.
His back's to us in a long sleeve shirt. His back is to us. And he goes, oh, wait, is it?
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh yeah.
And then he didn't say anything after that. It was just like awkward silence.
It's just gonna be hot.
I'm just gonna sweat.
It was funny. It was
So funny.
He was super in the zone.
He was.
And he like wouldn't eat. I was like, dude.
Oh yeah.
Or he'd eat like nuts. He had like
yeah, but he was very much like
he was like, go.
That's
After trying
like
to
there was no break on his end.
Yeah.
No, he went the whole time.
And we would play for like 6 hours straight.
Yeah, we did 6 hours every day.
Straight up.
Yeah. That's some work ethic right there, man.
It was cool.
He did great.
That is, and there's a lot of just small qualities within that. That's kind of a producer that you want where, you know, when you only have a certain amount of time, they're going to give you their all for that whole entire duration. And even if it is a little too hot and he's just like, so it is, and is wearing and just going nuts on it, you know what? Maybe just let him do his thing, because if that's the way that he's just going to stay in the zone, why not? And also focusing on, you know, what is this song about? What's the feeling? What's the mood? Kind of trying to create that, you know, environment for that day for you so that you're in that headspace, you're in the feelings of it, even if it's just like changing the color in the room around, just so that it has this different vibe to it. Because, yeah, maybe one song, it has maybe a little bit of a warmer feeling to it, a little bit brighter, a little bit more sunshine feel. You're going to want to have something that's more yellow, something that might be more cool or more downtrodden or even depressed, even have like a feel like a blue in there. Something that's like with fiery hot passion. You got to have some smooth red tones. They're just like, yeah, bringing that out in you mentally, visually, so that when you're performing and you're recording this stuff, all of that extra emotion is just being, it doesn't have to be nearly as forced at times, or nearly as like, okay, now we got to bring this back. We got to get to this point. It's a lot easier to get into the zone for you when that happens. And then, like you said, he's focused in on trying to make your vision become reality, not trying to turn into what he thinks. It's like, okay, where are you at with this? What do you guys want with this? What's the feeling around this? It's his job, or the producer's job, to figure out what the emotions, what the story is, and bring that story in the song to life. Now it makes sense why Molly went through and did the drums for the first day and just absolutely killed it, because you think about it, when it comes to any song and when it comes to drumming, that backbeat, that just moving groove style, it's such a backbone piece and such a huge piece of it, where you think of it like a fucking banana split. It's like the drums are the ice cream that are in there. You need the ice cream in there. Does it look like all like, you know, the chocolate sauce and the cherries and the bananas and the sprinkles? No, it's not going to be all the flair and the pizzazz. But without the ice cream, what is there?
Yeah,
you have a banana full of sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am ice cream.
Quote of the year.
I've got a bad feeling that if someone picks up, it's just like, okay, so Kevin basically called Molly ice cream, and now whenever Molly goes to a show, there's gonna be people just waiting outside with like, Molly, I got you ice cream.
Oh, that would be legit.
They're probably already up there.
That would be legit. Yeah, that would be great.
Sodas.
Shit, then instead of first rounds on me with beer and just bringing like case beer, just bring like 2 tubs of custard and be like, guys, I hope you have a place to put this in a freezer or something.
Right?
Because,
Yeah, you gotta freeze in your greener, right?
Right.
or a very, very, very cold cooler that is below like, you know, 0 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't think they make those, but maybe they do. I haven't checked Amazon for those in quite a while.
Yeah,
there we go.
Who knows? We'll find some of it. But going back into the whole entire Crybaby EP, when it came to some of these songs, like when it comes to the specific like mindset you had around creating them and trying to create those visions and have your producer bring them to life, what were those visions for some of these songs, so that, you know, when we're listening to it, we can all get a certain vibe from it. We don't have to go into too specifics for the meanings of the songs, but just again, you know, we can give everyone an overall vibe. So when you go into it, there's a certain headspace that you're already like, oh, I know where this is leading to. And then you play the movie in your head of your life and how it relates to it. And then you're just like, oh my God, why have I not seen Rozy live yet?
Right?
Why have they not come by me yet? This has to happen now.
Is there like a space?
I think, we really just wanted them to be kick ass and rock and roll. Like, we wanted it to be rock, but like we wanted to be like in the umbrella. So like if you listen to Crybaby, it's more like pop rock. If you listen to Livin's more like classic rock. If you listen to Saccharin, that's more like hyper pop, like very fun. One for All is like our anthem, and then Pretty Lonely is like our.
How would you even describe it?
It kind of ties them all together.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It does.
But like.
You just told me think Lenny Kravitz.
Think Lenny Kravitz.
And then that's how I came up with the bound.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That's you were saying some time too.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That was such a long time ago. It was like a lifetime ago.
So Rock Umbrella, and then you have like Sad Zoe. Like
Yeah.
Which is so not me. I don't like being sad, but that was just when I was sad, so it kind of worked out.
I see.
The Rock Umbrella covering Sad Zoe from the Rain.
There
That's
you
essentially the
go.
Crybaby EP.
That's good. That's good.
But I can see, especially what you brought up when it came to Pretty Lonely, with kind of having that Lenny Kravitz style, because it's definitely maybe I still think One for All personally, because that's always the thing that's going to connect with me when we talked about the last time, just because it has that anthemic drive to it, such like more power behind it. That was always my favorite, even on the EP. But when it came to Pretty Lonely, I'm like, I was picking up like, yeah, there's some kind of funkiness to it that has that Lenny Kravitz feel to it. But it's like Lenny Kravitz writing a Pretty Reckless song. Like it has that sort of like that like that Taylor Momsen, like a little bit more of that like smooth but also at times aggressive bite to it, specifically in the vocals. Yeah. And that's something when I'm listening to Rozy, whenever I listen to you guys, when it comes to your vocals, like whenever there's like this certain like just bite behind them, or there's certainly more like a little bit like a quick aggressiveness to them. Personally, that's when I think it stands out the most, because it just has this little bit of just. Again, it has still that like sometimes that pop flow to it, but it just adds a little bit more of this individuality to it, and it allows the energy of the song to either amp up or transition into something completely different on a dime, the way that it hits. I don't know why it is, but it's just, there's that certain bite to your vocals that just stands out more. And in Pretty Only, that's what I thought, that bite ended up having the most amount of power behind it. Again, a lot of that also has to do with the way the song was constructed, the flow of it, and it all amped up from there to have this Lenny Kravitz kind of writing like a Pretty Reckless song, having it all come together, and boom, you get Pretty Lonely by Rozy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Oh yeah. Were we trying to get some anime vibe in there as well?
We were. Yeah. One for All is literally inspired by My Hero Academia, Saccharin's Demon Slayer.
Kind of, inspired by Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Maybe not like what you're talking about, but
but the vibe.
the vibe.
Yeah, so inspiration can come from anywhere. I mean, you can write a song that's super duper heavy while watching, The Wiggles or something. I mean, everyone knows Fruit Salad is a death metal song at this point. Fruit Salad, yummy.
Yeah.
Hey, if you play that at any show with a bunch of metalheads in there, we're gonna have a blast listeing to it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. With the Cookie Monster scream.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
From you.
Listen.
That's the new technique. That'll be the day.
Plankton.
Rolling in the deep.
That AI generated Plankton singing Rolling in the Deep by Adele.
I've seen a lot of those Plankton AI ones. I'm not a big fan of them, just because it's like you can tell it's AI just with some of the tonality change. I'm like that wouldn't be normal Plankton. Come on. But I've heard the Roll in the Deep when I'm just like, oh.
And you just scream.
I think they pitched it a little out of tune.
Oh, for sure.
It makes it so funny.
It makes it way better.
All right, now here's another question, just off the rails with Plankton AI. What song would you want to hear Plankton AI cover? Which one do you think would be the most outlandish, crazy, given the voice?
On this EP or
Dude,
either on your EP or ever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that could go kind of hard. Plankton One for All.
That would be fun.
Dude.
Oh.
Oh, can we get a hold of this technology? I don't know how they do it, but
That's kind of cursed. That is kind of cursed.
Or what if we did a Plankton AI just EP?
Oh, Plankton sings Crybaby.
Oh,
No, honestly, now I'm thinking about this for a second because the AI stuff. I mean, it's like it was real popular for a moment, then it kind of like okay, now it's kind of more on the downswing. It's more in the doldrums of the current era. But of course, you never know what might happen. Pay attention to kind of what's going on because like when the EP comes out, like maybe like a week or two later, like or something special, just randomly post like, yeah, this is our song One for All as covered by Plankton. Just out of nowhere, see what happens.
That would actually be amazing.
I think we actually kind of had like a preliminary, like not serious conversation about doing that, but like having it be like lo-fi or 8-bit.
Yeah, 8-bit Crybaby EP.
Yeah,
like a real chill.
Something kind of, I don't know, just to kind of drum something else up. But Plankton AI, that might be the key.
That's
that
the
might
winner.
be the move.
That's the winner.
Plankton AI, I still think Plankton AI is singing One for All. And it's like you don't even need to like have like a video behind it too. It's just you just have to have the song in there and then like take the cover art that you did for One for All and just add on the left side like take that My Hero Academia. I don't know what exact, I don't watch it, so you got to give me some credit on this one for just trying this. But find whoever is like, if there's like a main antagonist, main villain, take the cover art with you guys on the right, put evil Plankton in that same style of like animation, but dressed in a similar fashion of that antagonist on the left side of the cover art, so it still looks like you're going to fight evil Plankton.
Oh my god,
that's hilarious.
That's genius. And the formula in the middle.
Fighting for the formula.
He has to be holding the bottle with the formula in it. You're going after it like, we're going to get the formula back.
Yeah. This is like
For
lore.
the crusty crab.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be perfect. We need to do that.
Yeah, I'm down. Who knows that he's photoshopped?
That kind of also brings up a potential short idea too.
Yeah.
Because it's like literally like go like all cosplay dressed up as it, and all of a sudden you have like the audio from SpongeBob like, do it for the Krusty Krab. For the Krusty Krab. And then have someone else do it because I told you to. You see, I could just see Brandon running around because you told me to.
That would be funny.
Oh,
man.
That's it. Put it on the whiteboard. Put it on the whiteboard.
bro, it's gonna go on the whiteboard. We're to get out of here.
Yes. Well, now there's a couple of crazy ideas that are in the works when it comes to the EP release that you might want to make sure you're following Rozy for, because Plankton cover of One for All and potentially seeing them run around doing SpongeBob, crazy style shorts, you're probably not going to want to miss out on that.
Oh yeah, not at all.
You need
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
And who knows what's going to happen next year or in 2024, even though it is this year, I'm still kind of stuck in 2023 because they're going to be going to a convention. They're going to be performing in front of music execs, performing in front of booking agencies, talent buyers, whoever it might be. So you very well might be seeing Rozy in your hometown in 2024. I hope it happens because I gotta see them play live. I've been speaking to Zoe and I've been speaking to you for about over 3 years at this point on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's about time I actually get to see a show live.
Yeah.
It's about time you get to tour nationally as well.
It'll happen.
That is the plan.
Yes.
That is the plan. How about this? I got one more question for you. Are you guys ready for it?
Yes.
We're ready.
I ask this now to every single artist or band that I have on because I absolutely love to see what the answer is. And I'm looking for one answer from each of you. So that means I'm going to get a total of 4. So can you each give me one band that you're absolutely in love with right now that you would love to give more recognition to? Shout them out now because I want to hear them and just get more in the know with what other great music is out there.
Well, I know I can say this because I think all of us feel this way too. The Post Profit boys, the guys in Post Profit, absolutely love them. We saw them on their last tour with Silly Goose.
The Goose!
Nailed it, bro. It was so good. Oh,
And we actually wrote a song.
Yeah, we did write a song that they inspired. That's fine.
We literally called it Rozy Profit.
Yeah. That's its test phase.
I wrote a riff, and then they're like, that sounds like Post Profit. And we're like, all right, Rozy Profit.
So yeah, I'd say Rozy
Wow.
it's profit for me.
That's so funny.
I don't even know.
I'm trying to think.
The Vortex guys?
They're cool. I haven't really listened to their jams.
Fair.
though.
Fair.
I've been like on a kick of just like listening to stuff I listened to in like high school. So I'm like under a rock right now.
Yeah, me too. I'm just
The
listening to
band,
Brink.
like Rozy has an album, and that's the new 100 Gex album.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's the new
Yeah.
100 Gex album.
100.
But my pick is gonna be probably Thrower when we play.
Thrower's good. They're like the brand spanking new.
Yeah.
They're sweet guys. They killed it. It's giving what was it? Pearl Jam.
STP.
Sensible Pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're brand.
they kick a lot of ass.
They were super cool.
And they just got together
Yeah, they
Mhm.
in
just got the.
September, I think.
Yeah, their
But,
brand's
like-
making new.
Yeah, bro, they're killing it. So.
Probably be them.
Mine didn't.
I don't have one. I literally don't. Have one.
John.
John. Is this John?
No.
Maybe have it.
Yeah, 100 Gex, like 100 Gex.
Yeah.
That's such a meme.
But I think they're like already up there, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
already
You're
up
right.
there.
That's just who we're listening to right now, though.
Yeah.
100 Gex all the way.
All right, so we've got Post Profit, who I'm big on already, so we're set there.
Yep.
We've got 100 Gex because you guys are just loving 100 Gex right now.
Bro.
And I already forgot the name of the other band that you said, Aris, because it just completely just left my mind in a moment of like mental unclarity. So who was it again?
Thrower.
Thrower. I was about to say Thrasher. I'm like, I know that's not right. So Thrower. Okay, I'll still take those three because those are a good three, especially because Post Profit is in there. Maybe we'll see a Rozy Profit tour. Who knows? I'd be down for that because then you guys can make me go bankrupt at that point of that tour. I'm gonna come showing up with so much random crap, just like here. I said
Right? I love it.
it's gonna happen. Well, as we bring this up to conclusion, you guys know I always like to give you a chance to say whatever you want to say, plug we're gonna plug, promote we're gonna promote at the end of the episode. So my friends, the floor is yours.
Thanks. All right, so
Everything.
we have an EP releasing on Valentine's Day. Make sure to check that out. We just released a single back in December. It's Pretty Lonely from that EP, which we're really happy about. And we have
that be
yeah.
Rozy official.
you want to check out any of our social media, where to find us, where we're playing next, go to rosyofficial.com or
Yes.
follow us on the Rozy Official.
We got some cool new merch.
Yeah.
Right, too.
His birthday shirt is going pretty hard. It's like death metal, but it's Rozy.
Yeah, we did a
Yes.
Rozy death metal
Like
logo.
yeah.
And,
It's crazy.
yeah.
And then check the YouTube. We're like in the middle of getting that like really up and running. So we're gonna try to start posting like weekly or maybe 2 times a month, give or take. But you know, trying to just get more content out there. So slowly moving from platform to platform.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to want to be a part of that journey. So now it's time for this podcast. There's 3 things. First things first is Rozy just told you where to find them online because they got a brand new EP coming out on Valentine's Day. You're going to want to stay in touch with them because their social media content is continuing to grow every single day. And you don't want to miss out on the possibility of a Plankton AI cover of One for All and whatever crazy content they come up off of that. So the best thing you can do to make sure you're connected with all of it is go to the description below as the marker falls to go and check out Rozy. You'll see where it says find Rozy online. There'll be links and labels for everything from social media, YouTube, where you can find them online on a website, where you can get tickets for whatever shows they're playing and check out where they're going to be playing, where you can buy some merch. You can get the death metal Rozy tee, thanks to Mr. Aris over there, and of course where you can stream all the music and get ready when Crybaby comes out. Description of the podcast just says find Rozy online. I got you covered. I'm your own personal Google on this one, so don't let me down. Make sure you follow them and subscribe to everything they got. Now it's time for number 2. You know exactly where this is going. I've had you on the podcast 3 times, and every time I have you on the podcast, I say first round's on me, the first make it so you play live. Welp, I enjoy having you on the podcast every single time, and we already kind of mentioned this. You know it's going to come a 4th time, but it's going to come to a point where it's like, I'm going to end up coming now with like a case of beer and like a half gallon of custard. Like, is this okay?
Right? It's like he's fine. He's with us.
He's with
Bring him in.
us.
Bring him in.
No, I'll find a way to sneak around and be like, all of a sudden you guys will be like in the van or like in the bus or something. Like you hear a knock on, the classic knock of da 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 da. And they'll be like, who the heck is that? You're gonna hear Beer Man and apparently the Ice Cream Man too. Holy shit!
Right? We're all excited. I can't wait.
Down.
If I have to sneak in somewhere, I'm just gonna carry a ladder with me because who's gonna question the guy carrying a ladder?
Right.
Yes.
True.
That's a
Maintenance
good
man.
point.
Maintenance man.
It must be important.
Must be.
Must be important. And now it's time for number 3. As we bring this episode to the conclusion, you know I'm not going to say goodbye because I have Rozy on every single year. You know it's going to happen again. Rozy is a recurring band on the podcast. They're always welcome back here every single time. And I still got to make good on those promises. So case of beer and half gallon of custard, here we come. So this is not goodbye, my friends. Hell no. This is I'll see you later.
See you later. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Well, folks, I'm in an interview with Rozy. Now it's time for Kevin's final thought. I'm going to go specifically into 2024 and seeing what they're doing. I mean, they talked about going to that one musical convention where they get a 25-minute set to play in front of a bunch of different like music execs, record execs, talent buyers, booking agents, everything like that. They're going to give themselves a chance and a shot to perform in front of a lot of people that have the ability to help them get on certain tours and get the band going from, playing mostly in Texas to having a chance to play all across the United States. And I wanted to bring this up specifically because that's an opportunity you can't let pass. And I'm glad Rozy's taking the opportunity, plus trying to add a show out in Southern California that same week because 2 reasons. 1, Aris' family lives out there. They can see him play live. Secondly, why not? You get to expose yourself to a bunch of new fans. At the same time, now those people at that convention can come and see you again, but in a setting that is going to be much, much more closely to what they're going to be trying to book you to. It makes a lot of sense, and I'm all for it. And I've had this band on the podcast for 4 times now. Zoe and Molly have appeared on all 4 episodes. Brand has appeared on 3 of the 4, and now this is Aris' first. I don't bring bands back on the podcast continuously if I'm not behind them. I mean, I've brought Kim Collapse back almost every single year. I remember bringing GFM back all the time. Outlier I bring back a lot. I've brought Caskets back a good amount of times. I always like try and bring on a Void every time I can because Benny is the shit. But Rozy's one of those bands too. This is their 4th time on the podcast. And I want to do what I can to help them out. And if you guys want to help them out too, I mean, like I said, follow, subscribe them. But what I'm going to do is they are putting together raffles to try and help fund going out to that music convention. They have a GoFundMe going too to help, recover some of the costs and try and make it out there as well. I'm going to be putting my support behind it as well. I'm going to be putting some money behind it because I want to support these artists. I want to support these musicians. I want to support the next wave of great rock and metal music. I need to stand behind what I say on this podcast in supporting these artists. So I'm going to do it. So I'll put a link in the description of the podcast as well for you. So go and make sure you go and support them as well. Whether enter the raffle or just, help out the GoFundMe, whatever you can do. But the least that you can do is follow their stuff, like, share, subscribe to everything, and just, share their music with the world. That's for free. You can do that on your social media accounts. Best way to tag them all. Go to the description of the podcast below. All their links are going to be there. So go make sure you check them out and go follow them. And make sure that when the Crybaby EP comes out, you are listening to that as well. Also, make sure you're following the Chord Progression Podcast. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit the follow button on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to this. And make sure you like the episodes too, so it helps push us in those algorithms once again. Next time I see you, Rozy, though, I hope it's not just on screen. I hope it's in person with a case of beer and a tub of ice cream in my hands. Thank you once again, everybody. And that's good, guys. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single voice. That was the big, healthy, and hearty. See ya!